Attention please! Class is now in session. It's your Wonderful Wind Mage, the Cruz Ship Captain, Chartreuse Proxy, ever at your service. Today is the inaugural day and opening of the School of Omega Strikers, or SOS for short. This is going to be my new running series aimed at teaching everything you need to know about how to play the game, terminology, and how to understand it, techniques that you might want to utilize while on the pitch, and just general ways to be a better teammate, either goalie, forward, or flex while you're out there. We're going to cover dribbling today, and specifically how to use it, why it's important, and what strikers might benefit the best from it. So, let's get right into the meat and bones of this subject. In traditional sports, dribbling is defined as the ability to take the ball in a certain direction while avoiding all enemy attempts to take possession away from you. In essence, you're announcing to everybody else on the pitch that only I get to play the game. Nobody else gets to play the game but me. Dribbling works the exact same in Omega Strikers, as you're trying to move the core up, away from the enemy reach, while building up energy for a core flip, or waiting out your cooldowns for a combo, like a 1-2 punch from Juliet. To dribble in Omega Strikers, directly strike the core upwards and downwards towards your nearest wall. You want it to bounce back to you as soon as your strike is back off cooldown so you can repeat the process. Remember, this is a stalling technique, made for your cooldowns or your teammates to get in position. You are challenging the enemies to come to you when you are dribbling the ball. If they don't answer you, you get all the time in the world to generate free energy, wait out your cooldowns, and let your teammates reposition themselves to follow up on you when you do eventually take the shot at the goal or the barrier. Dribbling in the corner isn't as intimidating as some beginners may think. It's the exact same process, but you are positioning yourself at the entrance of the goal mouth and just hitting it back and forth when your strike comes off cooldown. One beginner trap is to strike the core towards the goalie after you get a barrier because you don't know what to do with it. You want to maintain core control at all times, so strike it towards the same corner where you got the barrier, or towards the opposite one if no enemy forwards are there, to keep it out of their hands and stall out time for your burst or abilities. We're going to watch this clip again, but pay close attention to the era first and foremost. Now, let's see how Octavio likes to dribble. As a goalie yourself, dribbling against certain strikers like Juliet or Etz who don't have any ranged abilities can easily buy you some time, especially if you dribble off the backboard while you're waiting for your own cooldown to come back or your allies to respawn. Remember, dribbling is a stalling tactic, especially good if you are a striker down on the pitch. Any seconds spent not pressuring you when you have complete control of the core means that you are buying crucial time for your own cooldowns to come back or for your fellow striker to respawn and bring it back to an even playing field. To keep this striker-specific category as simple as possible, I'm dividing everybody into two main groups. We are going to be looking at the hard force strikers and the speed strikers. Hard force strikers do exactly what they say on the tin. Their ability kits have ways to stun the goalie, so they're aiming to hit both the core and the goalie, or the core and any forwards in their way, as they want to force the goals in by, well, brute force. Speed strikers are the exact opposite. With no way to deal direct stuns and only light hits, they need to outsmart the opponents by outspeeding them, quite literally so, maintaining core control the entire time. So let's cover a few examples directly in the practice tool. But first, a word from my sponsor. Let's talk about dribbling. Usually to dribble successfully, you'd need about a third of the field. But with Whiplash, you can cut down your distance to about a fourth, which does have its impact in certain situations. In this clip, utilizing dribbling with my strike and recast allows me to get a clean goal while keeping it away from the enemy forwards. The key thing to note here is when I time my initial activation. I'm able to beat Aimee before she can reach the core, and then keep it on my corner of the field. She's never able to touch it with her own strike as I recast Whiplash, and then a quick flip allows me to get the goal. Wait a second, that was all an ad? I'm missing my classes!
Let's go!
Estelle and Juliet both benefit from stalling until your secondary and primary abilities are back up together. You can close the distance with your secondary, so for Estelle it's Rose Warp, followed by sniping with Piercing Shot to nail the core and the goalie together. As previously demonstrated, Rasmus's Whiplash allows him to keep a tighter dribble angle to a quarter of the field before forcing the core in past the goalie with Pendulum Swing. Etz has a pretty easy win condition, not even counting his ultimate. He can just dribble to the corner and then bull rush to stun the goalie, just like the Juliet Dash Punch. Speed strikers like Kai, Era, and Octavia lack the hard force and stuns that their compatriots do, but they do bring a different set of tools to the table when trying to get past the goalie. Speed strikers rely on dribbling to safely carry the core to the enemy goal mouth. You need to play mind games and get yourself in a 1v1 with the goalie, forcing out their reactions with a battle time creation, strike shot, or more before you find your golden opportunity to score. Eras want to use dribbling while waiting for their Magical Maelstrom ultimate ability to wind up. You want to force the goalie or the other forwards in a bad situation to where they must eat the hits and possibly be KO'd as you make your way towards the corner of the goal. Octavia benefits the most out of all the speed strikers thanks to flow state infinitely stacking. If nobody tries to answer on her side of the field, she can literally run laps around the entire pitch, utilizing her increased movement speed to just run circles around the goalie. Remember when you're playing as a speed striker that you have an additional passing lane on the corners of the enemy goal mouth. You're not restricted to your teammates. Always look to see where the enemy forwards aren't, and utilize that open space, as you can always reach the corner and the core before they can, thanks to your abilities and your speed. Other characters who greatly benefit from dribbling to themselves is Zentaro, who can easily build up his passive gauge if his ultimate ability isn't ready yet for an easy 1-2 force. Or even Rune, who can dribble by himself thanks to his unstable anomalies before banishing the goalie. One key thing to note in all the clips that I've showcased so far in the practice tool is that there is no gear or awakenings active, meaning that you can perform all of those striker-specific techniques with just the base kit. But that doesn't mean if you draft correctly, you can't make your dribbling a lot better. We'll start with the most obvious piece of gear, which is Soot Kits. You strike the core, you move 30% faster for 2 seconds. Pretty obvious. Actually, I think the nerfs took it down to 1.5 seconds, but you get my point. It makes speed strikers a lot better, especially if they can just keep bouncing it back and forth. Octavia, of course, really needs it to set her flow state and just make sure that she's always wherever the core is going, even if she doesn't get the strike off. And it also makes some forward pits more viable than they originally were going to be, such as Asher forward, who desperately wants to stay in the goalie's face and bully all the time, but if she doesn't have the speed to get there, she's just kind of like a lumbering, walking strike machine. And, well, she's never going to get the core at that rate with how pitiful her dash is, unfortunately. On the Awakening side though, we can look at Quick Strike as the next obvious solution to patch up your dribble game in case you really want to keep it closer to the corners and edges. Etz of course is going to love this, especially if it's in the opening draft. The strike cooldown is reduced by 20%. You basically can just hold it instead of at the midfield line at about a quarter. Makes certain characters like Rasmus even more impressive since you just get to Whiplash, Strike, Whiplash, Strike, just so easily. And of course, if you just get to dribble on your side all the more free, you're getting more energy over time over your opponents. Off of that, Egoist very much so fits that same bill. If you can get Twitch Strike and Egoist, considering they took out Energy at Zodia, this actually is your next best bet for just really guaranteeing that you are going to quite literally run away with the competition. Even though you're not going to be getting that speed benefit until your energy is maxed out, the fact is that it is a lingering threat for when it does get maxed out. So you just need that one play, and dribbling is all about stalling for that one play or that one opportunity anyway. This is just exaggerating your positives, your power spikes a lot more. And quite frankly, even if you can't find that immediate opportunity, that 12% speed still does help itself out every now and then if you need to run back and forth across the midfield line. And then, well, I feel like those are the most powerful ones, considering we have certain ones like Glass Cannon currently rotated out. But for the general rotation, you're just looking at anything that just benefits your speed stats in general. Stats on Stats continues to get nerfed, but it's still pretty good. Of course, you have your Sparts, your Stature City, Exodias that you can just build up and just continue stacking from there. Stature Swagger continues to get nerfed, but of course, more speed never hurt anybody, especially when you're trying to control the core. These traits are the ones that you want to look out for if you want to better your dribble game. Of course, some will shine a lot better on certain strikers than others, but this is likely what you're going to be aiming for if you want to shore up your game, in case you want to dribble a lot wider or experiment a little bit more. These are what you are aiming for. Alrighty, that covers everything I wanted to talk to you about dribbling today. I hope this helped out new and returning viewers, and as always, thank you again for coming by to the School of Omega Strikers, my new running series. I hope that you can all help share and keep the good word out to keep Omega Strikers alive, especially in these trying times. Do leave comments on what you think you want me to cover next, on what you liked, disliked in this opening episode, and as always, for new viewers, please do subscribe to me. I'm posting daily Omega Strikers games that you can see me applying these lessons in real time. I also have other guide videos such as captivating and in-depth guide on how to play Rasmus. You haven't watched it yet. But this content is not going to stop anytime soon from me. I do intend to keep the spirit of Omega Strikers alive, and of course, I want to do what you guys want to see. So please, do support me in any way that you can. Share this word out, get the ideas out here for what you might think is a good video suggestion, and I'll see you in the next lesson. At least for now, wherever you are, wherever you may be, whether you're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, or more, it's been your Wonderful Wind Mage, the Cruz Ship Captain, Chartreuse Proxy, ever at your service, and thank you again to everybody who came out.